Brisbane, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, today I do have a fantastic speaker and a person who has been in the sporting fraternity for quite some years. Without much ado, I'm going to invite Nadeem on stage. Nadeem is an international hockey player, ex-India. Welcome aboard, Nadeem. How are you?
I'm great.
Fabulous.
Thank
Yeah,
you for inviting me to this program.
it's our pleasure, Nadeem. It's our pleasure. I've been working with a few people, and one of the things I found out when I spoke to a number of people is to see if we could have an interview with you on a topic that most people do not understand the concept of it. Which I'm talking about here is the importance of practicing anything that you want till you can get not perfection but excellence. And what better person to have us talk about than you, who has been in the practice arena from the time you're 8 years old, I'm told, when you started playing hockey. Do you want to just
Yeah,
run through a little bit about your background, where you come from, and how you got into this hockey game of hockey, I should say?
yeah. See, basically, I used to play all sports, cricket,
Yeah.
football, hockey, everything. And in the year 93, when India won World Cup, there's a lot
Hmm.
of buzz happened and everybody started liking, cricket. Before that, people used to like other sports. So then the stars, we started seeing them in the TVs and all that.
Right.
So actually, I'm from a small town
Right.
which is called Tirupati.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Andhra Pradesh. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a village kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is not even a district headquarters. And from that place, when I see some TV, actually in 80s, TVs has come into India. So when I started watching matches and all, I started attracting towards sports. I used to play
Right.
all sports, but when I played under 14 matches, I got the best player award. So then I
Right.
felt uh, interested towards hockey.
Right. I want you to go back a little bit, Nadeem, because you were talking to me earlier in the week where you explained about before 14, when you started at 8, you were still running around, not certain where. Now, why did you get into hockey? Did you have somebody, a coach or a role model that was encouraging you to do that?
Yeah. See, in that place, one coach was there. His name is Prasanna Kumar Reddy, and
Right.
he was income tax officer. But
Hmm.
because of his love towards hockey, he used to come and train us, and he was very committed. He was on time. He used to teach a lot. So I started believing him. I started, instruction. Whatever he is giving blindly, I used to do those things. So then I started getting results. The more results I started getting, the more I started believing him. And that's how my journey has started.
Yeah, it's interesting you said I started following him blindly. Now many people
Yes.
cannot understand that concept. Why did you just trust him so much and think that you can get something out of this interaction with him?
Yeah. He used to scold all the players who is not playing well. So when he
Right.
was scolding them, uh,
Uh-huh.
they used to take it in a negative manner. They used to say,
Right.
why this guy always scold us? Why he push us to go beyond limits? So this kind of mindset used to be there for most of the players. I used to
Mm-hmm.
think whatever he's saying for the sake of my performance, my goodness, my improvement. Whatever telling, it is not for him, it is for me, he's telling. So when he tried to push me, I used to enjoy the process, pushing, stretching myself to next level. All others used to think why this guy is pushing, why this guy is pulling me beyond my limits. So if he asked us to practice 4 hours, we have to do it. So I used to enjoy the process because I believed him, because I trust him.
Right. So now you brought up a couple of things. Belief in coming, and you got to trust in him. Now it's interesting.
Yes.
Why did you turn on and trust a person like that? Have you had some track record that this individual is good. What he's saying will help me get somewhere in life. What was some of the things that was going through your mind when that happened?
Uh, See, up to that time, I never got people who is coaching me, who is thinking about me, who is actually worried about my performance, my game. So he's the one who is doing that, and I can see a lot of players, my senior players, they were all performing well.
Mm.
So by seeing that, I felt by trusting him, I can go to next level.
You can step up.
So
Good.
yeah, step up. So I'm enjoying that process.
Right.
All hardship, I'm celebrating that hardship.
Right. Now, interesting. You said earlier that the other guys would be negative about the coach pushing them, whereas you didn't. Now, there must have been something in you that didn't allow you to shift that way. What was it? Because of your upbringing? Was it because you felt, I just needed to do this? What was the reasoning that you were different in mentality to that of your other peers that were in the playground with you?
Yeah, maybe my family support.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of love and affection in my family support. And number
Right.
two, we are a little bit poor in terms of financially.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to prove. I wanted to, prove myself.
Mm-hmm.
So the third thing is I always used to be little balanced. In the sense, I never used to get stressed. I used to be very calm. So when I was in calm state of mind, I used to learn, listen. The desire to learn more things was there. So most of the people, they were disturbed because of family reasons or whatever it is. So they were
Mm-hmm.
disturbed. So when somebody is saying a small point, they used to become angry.
Right. What caused you to be calm? Was it some training you had when you were a young guy, or was it your mom's behavior, your dad's behavior? Did they do certain meditation? What was the trigger for that?
Yeah, my father was a sportsman. He was into police department, and
Aha.
he was always active, and he used to take us and show us a lot of sports. He was a kabaddi player. So these has uh, uh, genetically I was be sports and fitness. He was in police, so I wanted to go into NCC and other things. So physical fitness is I used to love that. And then
Hmm.
a lot of parents in those days, they used to push kids to study well. They don't
Right.
encourage in sports. But my family, they said, okay, if you want to play, you play, but also study.
Okay. If you want to play, you play. You also study. Now, that's a
Yeah.
fantastic family upbringing. I mean, how come your parents were so lenient on you? I mean, from what I know, most Indian families are study, 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 become a doctor, become a lawyer, become an engineer. Whereas
Yes.
for you, it's aram say, it's okay.
No, my father was like that. My mother always wanted me to become a doctor. Her dream
Okay.
is to make me a doctor. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but my father is a little lenient. He says you enjoy life, go and play. So the
Right.
combination of both, a little bit of discipline, little bit of lenience, this has helped me to, completely leaving is not good. Yeah.
Right. Do you think your dad being in the police force actually enforced some practices in you, the discipline that you had to get up and do certain things? Was that coming through from your dad's side?
No, it was coming from my mom's side. She
Oh,
used to make me get up in the morning, and he used to
uh-huh.
be very chill. He used to come and sit as a friend. He used to share, but my mother used to be a little bit disciplined.
The strict mother, huh? Good.
Yeah,
Now let's get back into hockey. When you got into the field and you were playing, what
yeah,
were some of the things that you saw in your coach that was helping you to step up?
yeah. One is his commitment. The
Right.
second thing is telling straight. If I'm not good, I'm not good. He never used to, prize or anything. He used to talk
Right.
straight to people.
Right.
So I used to like that.
Okay. So when he did something like that, how did you react when he was telling you things straight, and how did the others react? So how was there a difference? Was that difference in your advantage or against you?
Yeah, it is for me. It is advantage because If he says you do dive, practice diving. If he says you do 50 times, I used to do 60 times, 70 times because I used to enjoy. The others used to think, why should I do it? One time, two times, if I do, that's enough. So they never used to hit. I mean, he always tried to focus on the basics. He says if you become expert in basics, you can do other things very easily. So
Right.
hit the ball, stop the ball, hit the ball, stop the ball. This is what he focused when we were very, very young. So he says,
Mm.
don't go next level. First, you become expert. Blindly, it has to happen. Subconsciously, unknowingly, it has to happen. So the more you practice, it will happen. So that's how he has trained us. Every move for 100 times, 200 times.
Just pick up one activity. You just mentioned hit the
Yeah,
ball, stop the ball, hit the ball. Now, as an
yeah,
example, okay, that particular thing in one training session, how many times would you guys do that?
yeah, maybe 100 to 500 times.
100 to 500 times. And
Yes.
I've got guys I'm coaching, they say, oh, I've done it 2 times. Is that enough?
Yeah,
100 to 500 times. I mean, that's what we call practice, right?
yes. So that will become like, unknowingly, subconsciously, it will happen the more you practice. And when you go into the match, it will happen automatically. So once you become expert in your basics, then you can do wonders in the whatever coming in the future.
Other levels
Because
and whatever.
yeah, everything happens with the basics. So rightly you said when we were kids, we hate doing that. Two times,
Mm,
three times. He want us to do it 100 times. We used to hate because how many times we do only hitting and stopping.
mm, mm.
Then, then we started understanding the kick of it. Then we started practicing it.
Right, right. Nadeem, I want to deep dive into another segment. We looked at the practice part, but more important, how did you exhibit your passion, for the sport? What did you really do in activity wise to get passion out there?
Huh. So when we are playing, actually, I used to do many things. Like, one is we had to exhibit to the people that, I'm a good player. Number two, my dressing. Number three, my communication. So everything, wherever I can improve my little bit. So all that thing has to come. In those days, the playing kit was very expensive. So we don't have money to buy it. So I used to stitch my own pads, the guards, with the old pads, writing pads. We used to cut it, and I used to put it here, put the sponge, and create some kind of a guards for legs and hands. And by wearing that, people used to think he's coming international player. My game is one part, but appearance, preparing for the game. So actually what happened was already I believed that I was an international player. Already I believed that I was meant for something. So that's how my
You see, you
journey has
just
started.
mentioned all the things around hockey. You didn't say anything about
Yeah,
the sport. You made me just spoke the second, okay? Now, which means you're looking at an all-rounder person to showcase as
correct.
being a hockey player.
Yeah.
Now, why you said it's important, but let me just re-emphasize that. Why is that so important?
No, because we wanted to look different from others,
Hmm.
and we wanted to show the passion that I am into this. See, one time what happened was there is a selection was happening. I went to that selection just 5 minutes late. So
Okay,
when I went there, they said you are not in the team, you are out of the team.
okay.
So I felt so bad just because 5 minutes they have removed me from this. So then the desire to come into the team has increased a lot, and then I practiced more, and I never missed that even 1 minute to reach to the ground because I realized the importance of time also.
This has been inculcated in you, and I remember very early when I was talking to you, I think about 2 weeks ago on a different subject, you mentioned about you coming to training early. Like if we say it's
Yes,
5 or 5:30, whatever your time training is, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
you get there about
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 minutes early. Is that right? Why that? Why
Yes.
is that?
Yeah, that's what. I missed the bus. In district team, I was not selected. Then I felt in my whole life, I don't want to miss the bus. If I come late, uh, the selecting committee will remove me. So that is one thing. And the number two is a passion for sport. So if the coach says be here by 6 o'clock, I'll be there by 5:30 and wait for coach to come. Whereas a lot of people they used to come after 10 minutes, 15 minutes because that's where the passion shows. And mentally, I'm prepared before the practice session started.
Before the actual session is starting, you're actually doing not necessarily physical practice, but mentally, you're just running through it.
Mentally,
Yeah.
yes.
You want to share the story about when you were going from city to city in the bus, all the others were chit
Yeah.
chatting, and what you used to do.
Yeah. So actually, I understood a lot of terms and everything. So I used to be in the flow state. The flow state means when we were going for a match from one place to other place, I used to put
Uh,
headphones and listen to some kind of a good music, which I used to love, A.R. Rahman songs or something. So when I'm listening to that songs, I'm actually in a meditative state. I'm enjoying that songs. So there is no stress for the game. So once I enter into the field, completely I give 100% to the game. Lot of other people they used to be stressful while traveling. They used to think how to win this match, how to win this thing, especially the matches like India and Pakistan. So there is a huge pressure on the players, whether it is a hockey, whether it's any game. There is a
right.
pressure from the whole crowd that you are
Hmm.
going to play a match. So these kind of situations, when we are mentally relaxed, then I can perform well.
And did that come through from some other form of training? Was it your coach, or was it just you picking it up, or was it from your family?
Yeah, it just I picked up. I don't know how I picked up certain things. Certain things, coach is also giving some inputs.
Okay, and you found there's a gap between doing that. When you did that, you outperformed. Now, can you describe that gap and your feeling about that gap?
No, I didn't get. Uh,
Okay. See, when you did that meditation, listen to music, your calmness got you into a
yeah.
state, a flow state.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, being in a flow state, you know you can do certain things very well.
Right.
Now, before you learned about being in a flow state, you were performing. What was the gap?
Yes.
How was the difference there?
Uh, yeah. Actually, I was playing one tournament, district level tournament. I performed
Hmm.
very very bad. So my
Right.
coach came and shouted me that you are not focusing on the game. Your focus is in the girls. Your focus in somewhere else. So all that he has told me. So while actually I was traveling for the next tournament, Indian universities. So in the train, I took a berth on the top and I closed my eyes. I was visualizing my practice. I was actually dreaming what I'm going to play. So when I was doing that, I was really enjoying the process. I'm thinking that I'm practicing because I don't have time.
Hmm.
From the very bad performance, now I have to go and perform well there
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it's going to turn my life. So in this between, there is no time for me to do physical practice. So I was doing mental practice.
Mental
I don't
practice.
know these words called visualization techniques or meditation, all that. But I was just dreaming that I'm playing. So once I went there, everybody told me that you don't have a godfather, you don't have a support, you cannot select in this. But I said, okay, I don't mind. I just came to enjoy the game. That's all. So when
Right.
I'm in that state of mind, I don't have stress of losing. I don't have proud this thing for selecting or I given my 100%. I enjoy the game. That's all. Then
Hmm.
at the end of the day, they called and they said Nadeem is going to be the captain for Indian universities. So I was so happy. Uh, I all these things now I come to know, like meditation, visualization, buzz movements, and these and that. But that time I don't know anything. I was just enjoying that journey. I'm enjoying that process.
You were living the moment, not knowing how you are enjoying it and how you became successful. But now, after
Yeah,
the event, you're learning all these techo terms, and then you understand. Okay, I
y-
put two and two together. This is what's happened. Let me ask you one thing
yeah,
about that Indian selection, Indian university selection. You want to elaborate a little bit more about what happened there
yeah.
at your selection? Yeah,
So yeah, when I went there for Indian University or even in the Indian team, so a lot of kids, they come from different sports academies, Air India Sports Academy, uh, different sports academies. I was just practicing in a small ground in Tirupati. That is my background. These guys were playing in Air India Sports Academy, where the top Olympians comes and plays with them, and they don't have a fear of meeting the star players. Every
right.
day they practice with them. So when I went there, for me, first time I'm seeing a star. First time I'm seeing Dhanraj Pillai. First time I'm seeing some other player. So I was so excited that I'm able to see them. For them, they are practicing every day with them. Okay. So after the game, they come and try to mentally put pressure on me, saying that these guys every day play with us. So we were great players. So you never played, so you are a low player. So
No.
they used to, put the psychological pressure on me. So I said, okay, whoever it is, whatever it is, I give my best. I give my, I enjoy this play. That's all. So like that, I was playing. And selection committee, there are so many players, they don't give the chance to everyone. So according to them, also, I'm in the third or fourth place. So in Indian selection team, so I had a fever. So I was just taking some paracetamol and just sitting there. And coach called me and he said, Nadeem, you have to play now. So within fraction of second, I made my mind, fever, giver, everything has to go out. And this is the time which is going to turn my life. And then I changed my mindset and entered into the game. And that there are two teams. One is a team which is going to play the Asian Games,
Mhm.
the top star players, and with them we are playing. And I got the chance to play half an hour. In that half an hour, they are not able to score one goal. I saved all the goals. I don't know how it happened. Miracles happened, and I become a star. Before that, everybody used to think he's a fourth grade player, and these guys are from people who came from academies or better players. But with that performance, the thing has changed.
Now, I want you to elaborate, and this is where a lot of people do not, I would say, sell themselves or promote themselves. That
Right,
particular aspect of you not showcasing yourself has been a common trait amongst a lot of people and a lot of performers. Hmm? Now,
absolutely.
you also were in that state. So obviously, there must have been some sort of mental elasticity, stretching that got you out of that thinking to turn around and mentally compete against these guys. So you got
Right,
indirectly selected.
right.
How? And what were you doing for that?
One is the gratitude. I I used to thank the coaches for training. I used to be very close with them. I used to say good morning, good evening. Others were reckless. They don't care the coach or mentor. That is one thing. So the gratitude feeling of and I'm very happy that I'm in that state. From some low level, I came to that. So I'm very happy. So my mindset was happy that whether I select or not, but I am there. So the the moment, the state of mind was very high. So
Mm-hmm.
then I started really. I don't care what people are saying. I believe myself. So that's how I used to self talk. I used to do. And actually, what happened was when they called me to play, I used to have one sticker. I cut the sticker and put in my helmet, Indian flag. So it is like when it is there, I believe that I'm going to select. So when I took my helmet, that sticker has gone out. It has removed from there. So suddenly I felt that I'm not going to select because the sticker which is there,
Tag was
it
gone.
has gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then within fraction of second, I said, okay, this is the time it has gone. The sticker has gone, but now I get the real sticker. I get the real Indian this thing. So the moment I said that, I performed well. If I went into my other way, like, self-talk, like it has gone, now I'm not going to select, then I would have not selected.
Nadeem, it surprises me because you keep saying, I never got exposed to this. Did your coach help you in any of this area with the mind play?
Absolutely. He used to say every day,
Hmm.
he used to, give so many small tips. All that has subconsciously gone into our life. Like, he
Right.
used to come and wake us up in the, see, how he has changed our complete mental attitude. Uh, we used to go to North India. From South India, we went to North India.
Right.
So when we went to North India, there we were not used to eat the rotis and dal and paneer and all that. We are used to eat sambar and rice.
Right.
That is our staple food. So when we went there, we are not able to eat that food, and the climate is very cold, and nobody is performing. Everybody is standing when the match has started, and they were attacking on me. So there were 100 attacks on me, and there were 5 6 goals. But I become a star because I have saved so many goals. Then my
You're the
coach said,
goalkeeper. I think the audience needs to
"Yeah,
know you are the goalkeeper.
yes, yes."
Right.
So
Right. Continue, please.
when my coach came and told us that, see, you came here not to eat food, you came here to play and win the match.
Hmm.
So food is a second part. So when you are in a Rome, you have to be like a Roman. So whatever you are getting, you have to eat that and survive. So you can drink milk, you can have omelets, you can have bread and butter, but you need energy to play the game. If you don't have energy, you cannot play. So these kind of things, when the next day we will go for practice, he used to ask us to drink tea or coffee so that heart will go inside our stomach, and wear proper clothing so that body will be warmed up properly. So once we go into the ground, we are already warmed up, have some
Right.
hot shower, and then you need to do only 50 minutes warm up, and you can play the game. So these kind of so many small things he used to uh, tell us. So all that has gone into my subconscious mind because I believe him. I used to do. So a lot of people think, what is this coach? He has to teach us only hitting and stopping. Why he's asking us to sleep early? Why he's asking us to get up early? So people used to think in that way. So he has actually completely changed my overall personality, overall thinking pattern. So mentor or coach is very, very important throughout life.
Hmm. Now it's interesting you say that from the perspective of how he taught you and your team, obviously, to shift that thinking, whether it's the food you eat so you can save energy. You go out there and only warm up for 15 minutes. Therefore, your energy is saved for the game, as opposed
Yes,
to spending the time in
yeah,
working through
and
the
warming up.
exercises. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, yes, absolutely.
So now that is called working it smart, I gather. Now that
Yeah,
type of a
yeah,
thing flows into your other areas of life also.
right, absolutely. So
Yeah.
now, actually, not to there are so many areas. In those days, we never used to have a sponsorship. I went to
Ah,
Patiala, then I went to Jalandhar. I had to sell myself. I used to go to each company and say, I am in Indian team. Can you sponsor me? So nowadays there are a lot of managers and all. In those days, nothing was there. So I had to go sell myself. So one company said, you sign here, we'll give you kit. So I signed there, and they started giving me the t-shirts, bats, balls, everything. So the journey, then I realized we need to sell ourselves with the coaches. We had to sell ourselves with the sponsors. We had to think bigger. We had to perform. Then only you will be successful. So it is not only teaching the sports, it is also teaching life, how to survive in the life. So all
hmm.
these things I learned in the sports.
Fabulous, fabulous. So basically, in this area of the Indian university stories and the food stories, you basically built your self belief. You got your defining moments, and through that
Yeah,
self belief build and your defining moments, you are able to then scale up to the next level. Now we
yeah.
got to
Define
this next level.
define
Sorry, go on.
And I just wanted to share the defining moment. So I
Okay.
went and I went and kept in Indian universities. When I came back, uh, all the girls in my college and all, I wanted to show them that I have achieved something great, but it is not covered in newspaper. It is not covered anywhere. So I wrote a letter to all the newspapers that I got selected. So some of the newspapers they published, some of the newspapers they got the doubt, how can a boy can send it? It has to come from authority like university head or somebody. So one guy came and asked me that he came to find out in my ground whether he really played or not. Then he spoke to me for some time and he went and published in the newspaper. The headlines was, my dream is to come into Indian team. So when that headline comes, everybody started laughing at me. They said, Are sir, you are from a small village, how can you play for India? The moment everybody started laughing, that is a defining moment. I decided I want to prove these guys that I can play. So then it has happened.
No looking back after that, right? It sort of made a
Yeah, no, like,
twist.
yes, yes,
Fabulous, man. Yeah, and you see a lot of these things, as you say, small things, but it's the small
yeah,
things that matter so much, and many don't realize
surely.
it. Fabulous.
Yes,
Moving on. Now, when you finish that, I want to get into how you got into the stretching exercise. You know, when you do your normal hockey games, you have to stretch physically, mental
yeah.
stretching also. Just illustrate some basic things that the coach did to get you to perform your stretching exercise.
Yeah. So actually, there is a camp was happening. So people used to come late. People used to not having the interest. So he want us to have fun and stretch our limits. So what he used to do is he used to take us in the ground. In the ground there is a hockey. It's almost 400 meters distance. So he used to say one girl to stand at that corner, and boy has to stand at this corner, and girl has to complete half round, and boy has to complete the full round. And he says, go and catch that girl. So then we put our 100% energy, and we used to run like anything to catch. And the girl also used to fear because if he somebody catches her hold, uh, they don't know what to do and frustrated and all. So she used to do 100%. So most of the time, at the last, there is a some gap because 200 meters and 400 meters have a lot of difference. So like that, these kind of activities he used to give us to stretch beyond our limit. Then we used to run in the hills. There were 7 hills in Tirupati, so which is
Yes.
very very peak. So it take 2 hours for us to run and reach there and come back. So 2 hours to go, 2 hours to come back. So once in month, once in 15 days, he asked us to do that. So this will actually increase mental strength, not only physical, mental also. You are pushing your limits. You have to be on the go. You have to do mentally strong to achieve these things. So like that, so many assignments he used to give the coach.
Mm,
And then
mm.
when we went to play the match, uh, my actually the manager of the team he brought only the money to, because he thinks that we are going to lose. We are going to play only 3 matches. But
Right.
after going there with this kind of practice, wherever the ball is there, all the 10 players are there. They're running, running, running. So much of stamina, and we entered into semi-finals and finals. And then again
Right.
here, the manager has to go back to get some more money to feed us. So
Well, let me get this right. Now, when he go back to collect some more money to feed, the sponsors, what did they do? I mean, did you have sponsors to help you guys?
no, this was a university thing. University has to sanction the money to
Oh,
give us.
okay. Okay.
So at that level, and then
Mm,
sponsors for once we came into the Indian team, then there were sponsors. They used to give some funds.
mm. You at the early part, you spoke a little about conscious and subconscious mind. Okay, I want you to
Yeah.
elaborate a bit more on the autoresponder. Unconscious to conscious state.
Okay.
just elaborate a bit of that, more from the angle of what did you do in your hockey game to get that going? Examples of your exercise, whatever.
Yeah. So this is a practice, practice, practice. So when
Hmm.
I do it 100 times, 200 times, same thing again and again, again and again, then what happens is even unknowingly it will come. So most
Hmm.
of the time, uh, especially in the penalty strokes, we had to stand like this.
Yes.
So the moment he says in the right side, I almost falling down on the right side. Ball is coming here. My leg went and stopped that ball. So these kind of miracles happen because of so much of practice. If you see Dhoni, he just blindly do like this, the ball goes and hits many
Yes.
times without seeing the stems and throw the ball because he practiced 100 times, 200 times. Unknowingly it will go. So whenever he get the ball, he just throw like this, it will go and hit the stems. So this will become perfect in everything.
Hmm. Now, playing for India, going through all of this practice, do you think you can cut, copy, paste that in any profession, those practices?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what actually I'm doing now.
Good.
Uh, I am actually following those things because I understood those things. One is being in a state of the flow state. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, now I'm into so many professions. Like I was having my own company, which is a wellness company.
Right.
So I go and teach a lot of corporate crowd to be healthy and happy.
Mm-hmm.
So all these places I'm using those techniques. And when I recruit my employees, they come and give me big biodata. They say, I've done this PhD, I've done this, I've done that, everything. I say, okay, what is your extracurricular activity? Do you play sports or not? If they play any sports, then only I'll give them job. The reason is sportsmen,
You're not biased, are
because
you?
no, no. I mean, what I feel is mentally they have tuned to that. Why I am telling
Right.
this is actually I used to take people from sports background and I say, you go and complete this task. This guy goes and complete and come back and he says, sir, there is no buses, so I took auto. You pay me 100 rupees more, but the work
Mm.
is done. I used to give him. The other guys, he goes and come back in the evening. He says, sir, there are no buses. He comes back with the excuse. The sportsman, he comes with the solutions.
Mm.
So I used to say, don't give me, give me the results. I don't want the, if you tell me what to do, then why I need you?
Yes,
I need
exactly.
the solutions.
Exactly. Exactly. Fantastic. This term genetically, you use a lot of that, in our talk previously and even now in
Yeah,
the course of the
right.
day. Why is that so powerful? I mean, genetically, in relation to your biological and physical activity, is fine. Can you be genetically conditioned to excel? And if so, how? I know this is a very
See,
tricky
actually,
question.
yeah. No, actually, they have observed, the sports
Mm.
psychologists, they have observed how to bring people in the sports. So they went and found out people from backgrounds like me, blacks, or people who is from African background. So
Yes.
genetically, they have very strong muscularity. And in
Mm.
India, people who is living in the tribes, like
Mm.
Adivasis, or people who is living in the uh, high altitude places like Manipur, Andaman, Nicobar, and things like
Mm.
that. So genetically, they were so strong because they climb to the hills. They they all have certain hardships, whereas people from cities, they are very easygoing. They born with golden spoon. So when we bring people from there, psychologically and physically they are strong, and then we can actually tune them. See, actually, I played for different states. If you, a lot of people have seen Check the India movie. they are shown very nicely. I have gone through that. Because what happens is South Indians, physically, they are not very strong. They are little weak. But mentally, they do a lot of calculation when the game is happening.
Mm.
And when we go to North Indians, like Punjabis and all, physically, they are very strong, very height. Mental, this thing they use less, but physically, they dominate. Abbe Sale, ball, that. They try to dominate with physical this thing. If you go to this eastern side, which is like Bihar, this side, they're all physically strong, but they don't have that attitude of Punjabis. They cannot dominate because they come from a rural background or Adivasis. So they go on doing a lot of hard work, but they cannot dominate or they cannot use much of mind. And if you go to the western side, like Bombay and all, they enjoy the game. They play a little bit of mind, little bit of hard work. When they are in the field, they give 100%. After the field, they don't mind. They go drink, they enjoy life. So, like the different psychologies I studied in my sporting career and try to learn from someone something. And this is what happens genetically. That's where the special area games. The government of India started long back. Special area games, how to pick up people from different areas. So when actually that is what I am also doing. When I was with Tata's, I was part of the archery academy. So we went and took the girls of Adivasis, and also we brought people from convent schools. The blend of both of them to make them this thing champions. So most of the players now today, world number one is Deepika. She's from rural background. I only went and picked her up at that point of time. So now, giving back to the society.
Mm.
What I have done is I have started my own foundation called Khelo Dil Olympic Sports Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my idea was to give back to the society, connecting the dots. So now I'm into corporate world. So I have so many connects with the corporates. They have a lot of CSR funds. They don't know where to spend. So I want to route that funding to help sports people to get more gold medals for India. This is what I'm
Right.
trying to do.
Right. You see, it's amazing. When you have we all go back to one thing, the basics. You get your
Yes,
basics right. Doesn't matter how you
right.
go, you just step up. And most are
Absolutely.
so fervently against practicing the basics and the
Right.
fundamentals. When you get that correct, by spending the time required, whether it's repeat. In fact, the other day I was talking to a person who was asking me, how do I remember when I'm talking? How do I do my speeches? What happens? And I told him very bluntly. I said, he asked me a question, how many times do you practice for that? The last Saturday speech, okay, that I did.
Right.
And I said, very honestly, about 50 to 60 times. I didn't physically look at it. It was running in my mind.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. And yeah, 50 to 60 times? I said, yes.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe it. And this is what we're talking about. The fundamentals are so important. And that won't come to an impatient person. You
Correct.
have
No,
to have
even
the patience to work through it.
so we learn in that process how to fail 100 times to get
Yes.
success.
Yes. Exactly. And it is all inside here that we are doing. So therefore, when we do the delivery, it's going to be
Hmm.
smooth. The flow is there.
Smooth. Yes.
Now, pull all that together. How do you think this, with role models, has helped you enormously? We had your coach. I want you to
Yeah.
look at your role models. See, each one of these activities are different, okay? A coach, a mentor, and a role model. How did the role models help you?
See, at every stage, I had some role model. When I was in the
Yeah.
school, I used to see who is topper in the school. I used to
Uh-huh.
copy him, how he's practicing, what he's doing. So then I used to have two, three role models. One is a guy who's very good in education. I used to go just sit next to him. I need to pass, so I just need to make friendship with him. And like that, I used to copy the people who's excelling in their life, and that
Right.
becomes my practice.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when I came into the Indian team, when I came into different areas, not only in the sports, even in the life also.
Right.
One of my role model, a lot of sports people, I used to copy them. I used to uh, get something good out of them and try to practice in my life. Similarly, when I came to a place called Jamshedpur, so there is a guy called Dr. Ajay Kumar. He was actually MBBS doctor, turned into IPS officer, turned into MBA. I mean, the vice president for Tata Sons. Then he became member of parliament. So after seeing him, I realized I can do anything. Before that, people used to think, okay, IPS means only retired as a SP. MBBS
Uh-huh.
means only doctor. Politician means only politics. Chairman of MD of a company means that is the this thing. So he has done everything in his life. So after seeing him, I also started following. I am now a part of Rotary, so where we do a lot of service back to the society. I have my own company. I do a lot of charity. I do, learning. Always I'm learning. So today also I'm learning, talking to you. Every day I learn something. So these are the basics which has imbibed into my system.
Right. Right. Um, you know that role model that you followed to step up. You
Yeah,
want to share that story? Because that is a very important story for people to understand how you can cut, copy, paste, and then
yeah,
slowly step up. It doesn't matter where background you come from. It doesn't matter what PhDs you have or don't have.
yes. So actually, I came from the sports department to Apollo
Mm.
hospitals. So
Yes.
when I came there, my degree was only BCom.
Right.
So when I came there, I had seen all the doctors, physiotherapists, a lot of people with medical background. So I had a little doubt in my mind whether I can survive here or not. So we have opened a gym. I used to train people. So my coach, he is my mentor. I used to blindly follow him. So one day I took his biodata. Somewhere it was there. So I took his biodata. I read it. I said, uh, Professor Kennedy, he's a BCom. I said, wow, I'm also done BCom. Then second, he is an international player. I said, I'm also international player. Then he said he worked in Tata Steel. Then I said, I also worked in Tata Steel. Then there are so many degrees, so many achievements, so many things. Then I said, when there are few similarities are there, why don't I try to get others?
Mm.
So then I started following those paths, the cut, copy, paste. Like I started following. I have done my fitness certification, American Council on Exercise. Then I have done my post-graduation preventive and promotive healthcare. Then I realized after doing this, I need to market myself. I need to sell my talent. So I've done my MBA in healthcare services
Hmm.
and marketing and advertising. So all these things to make my way. So today I'm a managing director of Active Life. So I go and sell it to a lot of corporates, the well-being. To sell well-being, first I need to be well. I need to be healthy. First, the second is my credibility of little bit of sports. The third is my knowledge. So all these things has helped me. So actually, one day, one doctor came and he was talking about a lot of medical terminology. I was a little bit scared. I went and told my coach, my mentor, sir, they are asking these things. He said, he is a doctor in the hospital. You are a doctor in the gym. So whatever you say, he has to follow. Then I become so confident. Then I started commanding them. I said, don't talk to me all this. This is what you do. This is where you get the results. So then they started getting results and they started believing me, started giving me respect. So like that, I went and give lot of lectures to many people. So I changed my terminology. When I go to talk to the people who's normal people, I use a very basic words. When I go for a medical, colleges and all, I use medical terminology and everything. So that's how my confidence has improved, and my communication skills has improved. So
Wow.
simply I've done cut, copy, paste. That's all.
Right,
You know,
right, right.
believing the coach, believing the mentor.
And it's interesting. I think we spoke about this some time back. Many people are expecting respect. They're demanding
Yes.
respect. Okay.
Yeah.
And so if people don't give respect, they sometimes get upset and the ego gets blown out and
Upset.
all of that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
What you have just done, the process you went through in being an understudy to a role model, picking up all the skills, you've actually, when you think about it, you've surpassed his qualification listing. I don't believe in
Yes.
qualification, but you've surpassed that from what I can
Yeah.
understand that things that you've done. Now, rather than demand respect, now you come out and you're commanding that respect because you've already got it there. You've done the walk, and you're now doing the talk. Correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I think you're freezing up a little bit there. Your buffer feels down, but it doesn't matter. The key element here I'm trying to get to is you have also through that process understood the element of I don't need to showcase myself when it's not required. When it's required, I showcase myself. So you've
Yes.
learned that art also. That's a very fine line. Most people don't know this. Okay,
Correct.
it's interesting. One of our colleagues, in fact, I'll mention the name of the person. Sumana and I yesterday was making the listing for the MRM programs that we want to do skill programs for the people. And some of the things she was asking me, she said, where do we draw the line? I mean, we can't go and teach them how to do certain things that they should have picked up elsewhere. And
Yeah.
what you have done, you've gone and done it on your own, and then came
Yes.
back and now okay, I have that. So I expect that respect. I'm not demanding it in any way. I'm commanding it
Right.
because I've already got it.
The same thing. Actually, my mother's dream was to make me a doctor.
You've already become a
Okay.
doctor.
So today, so many hospitals want to tie up with me to open
Yes.
a separate wing, wellness
Yeah.
wing in there. So when I
Right.
go there, the CEOs will sit next to me and all the
Yeah.
other doctors sitting in front of me. So I went and told my mother, see, I have become a bigger doctor. I'm teaching doctors. See, when we had done a program called Post Graduation Preventive and Promotive Healthcare, a
Right.
lot of doctors from all over the world, they used to come and do that course. The cardiologists, orthopedics, psychologists, dietitians. So we used to teach them the holistic health to them. So all these things, my mother, not able to believe. These guys never went to the school. Now the doctors are giving in respect. So as you said, I have created my own path,
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying that process. I'm not worried about giving respect or not.
Right.
Not demanding the respect, commanding the respect.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Hey, Nadeem, I also want you. I want you to talk a little bit about your foundation. You set up a foundation, and
Yeah,
how is that? It's a contribution because you understand. That's one of the things that
right.
MRM is pushing a lot. You're
Yes.
contributing back. I want to sort of showcase that. Can you just share a bit about your
Yeah.
contributions in that area?
See, that's what actually I realized my purpose. Like,
Hmm.
I have got so much from the sports. I wanted to give back to the sport. That is my idea of starting this foundation. So
Right.
I realized there are so many companies who have CSR funds. So they wanted to show in the income tax that I'm giving this money to some kind of corporate social responsibility.
Right.
And there are so many villages and so many kids who wanted to play sport and they don't have money to buy proper kit.
Hmm.
So I wanted to root this money for them to get a good. So what I am doing is two things. One is I'm identifying the players and trying to understand their needs. So just giving money, it doesn't help. We need to understand what is the requirement and what we can give it to them. So I have
Mhm.
divided into six parts. One is the playing kit, which normally sportsmen needs. The second is they need a special coaching, a good coach. Third is psychological aspects. They need a psychological coach, not only the game coach, the psychological coach. Then fourth is the nutrition.
Mhm.
Then they need a medical treatment. What happens is when they're in the peak, a small injury will actually make them down. So they
Mhm.
need a medical support at that time. So when I was talking to a lot of doctors, being into the hospital area, so when I was talking to the doctor says I'm not getting satisfaction. I've done my, uh, you know, MD in sports medicine, but I'm doing diabetic food. I'm doing something which doesn't give me satisfaction. I want sports people. I said I'll get you the sports people. You treat them free or little lesser cost. Uh, so I'll get them. So like that, I'm just connecting the dots. I'm connecting the doctors with the sports people. I'm connecting nutritional companies with the upcoming sports stars. And also I'm actually working on a different model, making the stories of these kids. Now
Ah,
there's a girl called Nikhat Zareen who has become world number one in boxing.
right.
Okay, so I'm making a movie on her story, her life, so that a lot of kids will get interest to play sports. So like that, I'm trying to connect. My idea is to connect this and get more Olympic gold medals for India. That is my
Mhm.
ultimate goal.
Fabulous, fabulous. You ever thought if that's the case, you ever thought of taking up to the next level of, you know how in Australia they have a sporting academy
Yeah.
for each dimension of
Huh.
sport, like cricket and all of the others?
Yes, yes. So
Is that
actually,
going
there
through
are a
in
lot of,
India?
yeah, there's also there, like Pulal Gopichand Academy, from where
Yes.
the sports stars are coming. So
Uh-huh.
like that, actually, I'm working now after joining this uh, group. After joining this, I started realizing what gives me satisfaction. So
Right.
now I spoke to one of the guy who's acquiring around 1,000 acres of land.
Right.
In those 1,000 acres, he wanted to start a sports academy. He says, Nadeem, you know everything, you do it. So now I'm going to open different academies, archery academy, football academy, like that, and
Right.
get the kids to play that. And from there, we can actually take out the champions.
Yeah.
To get the
Yeah.
champions, we will go and hunt in the grassroots level.
Talking about going and hunting, we haven't got much time, but I wanted this happen. Can you go back? I know we are rewinding here, but how you go and
Yeah,
hunt for the students or the actual participants that you want to bring on board, what your coach
yeah,
did and how he
yeah.
screened them. Can you just share just about
Yes, yes,
1 minute of it? Thanks.
yeah. So in the village, when we say we give the lunch free of cost, all the kids came, and we had done the physical fitness test, and who are fit girls are there, we picked up from there and take them to the academy and started feeding them, started giving them coaching. Today there is a girl called Rajni. She's in the Olympics. She played
Mhm.
Olympics, and she's in the continuously in the Indian team. So like that, uh, their home, they wanted to marry her once she becomes 16, and we counsel their parents because there is so much of life is there. So today their parents are very happy because she is a world champion, and she's getting so much of best jobs. She's earning a lot of money, and they say if we would have married her, her life is gone in the village. So like that, we are hunting, going into the rural villages, finding out the real talent, physically, who's very fit, genetically they are people, and we can actually tune them very well.
Fabulous, fabulous. Nadeem, I am so sorry. 1 hour is just gone. I can't stretch it anymore. So, but I must truly, truly thank you, for taking your time off and sharing some of the fundamentals, not only in the sporting area, but some of the basics that many coaches, many speakers, many trainers, and business people and entrepreneurs can actually tap from it and skill themselves up. Hmm? Truly appreciate it and thank you. One quick word from you for the audience. What would you give one word of advice to everybody?
Live for the purpose of life, enjoy, celebrate life. Don't run only for money, don't run only to show off people. Celebrate life. So, whatever it is, that is what I believed I'm practicing, and I had a very good mentor, David Nair, and a lot of other community, a lot of other friends. Actually, this is the energy we get in the morning. So, friends, don't just run for the money. Live for your purpose of life. It's amazing. It's going to give you the kick of life. Thank you.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to your chapter in that book called Grails shortly, too.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Nadeem. Truly appreciate it. You have a good night, and we will talk to you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, audience, for listening.